We are live here at the park, as you can tell. This is the hot coffee hour. So, why do we call ourselves the hot coffee hour? Well, look, I want to make fun of Graham Stevens so bad. Iced Coffee Hour is the worst podcast I've ever seen. I don't like to be too critical about certain things, but here's my problem with Graham is his content is basically BS that you pull off of some finance article you'd see on NerdWallet, or even maybe like a crappy publication like Forbes. And it's just milquetoast BS content. He doesn't go into the depth of it. He doesn't say things as they are. This is one of the things why I'm not a big fan of Graham Stevens. My problem with Graham Stevens is I just think he's just not good for the I think he's not good for the finance space on YouTube. So I actively like to make fun of him. So this is the hot coffee hour because I have hot coffee in this jug right here. See that? Oh, look at that, it's steaming, right? And they have the iced coffee hour. I've got the hot coffee hour. So the hot coffee hour is where I go down to the park and I talk about finance. Now, I'm in a pretty secluded area in the park because people don't really go here during the daytime, at least during the weekdays. So I brought my handy dandy notebook because I haven't done that in a while. My little it's a tiny notebook. Look how tiny that is. It's a little tiny notebook, and yeah. But yeah, we're here. We're kind of queer. Get used to it. No, it's a very hot day today. It's very warm today. Like, I'm sitting here in the sun, I can feel it. No cool breeze. Gotta blow into the coffee a little bit. Bard Lukin, what up, my brony brother? How you doing, man? Well, I'm here in the park. We're doing the hot coffee hour. And the reason we're doing this show is, one, I didn't want to be in the house. I have a little bit of a hangover, slightly, not much of one. Bard Lukin is saying there's 3 feet of snow on the ground over here. Well, hopefully this show will make you feel like you're on a hot, sunny day. But yeah, no, I was kind of going over a couple things. We're going to start scaling the output of the show to 720p. So what we're doing is the canvas is 1080p on the vertical side, and it's going to be 720p vertical as well for the output scaling. And the reason we're doing that is because, not going to lie, 1080p, while it's nice, it requires a larger bit rate, and quite frankly, my internet connection, while good, drops frames from time to time, and I need, if I'm going to do 1080p 30 frames per second, I do need a higher bit rate than 5,500. And I want better audio quality. So the real focus of the show is audio quality, but I figure I could do 5,000 kilobits per second. Well, I'm doing 4,900 kilobits per second alongside with a 256 kilobytes per second audio on it. So in technical jargon, it'll be a lot more manageable than it was before, is what I'm trying to say. It'll be a lot easier to deal with. And it will have, basically the main focus of the show I always have is audio quality. Audio quality is my thing. Let's see. Roger that says, dang it, Garza. Thank you for the hundo, man. Oh, yum, yum. Yum, yum. Sent 2 of them. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Now, don't make me do the yum, yum. I'm going to be an NPC today in the park, dude. NPC, baby. I need to start doing more NPC streams. So I think people do, even though I think most people hate the NPC streams, but that shit's hilarious. No, I love hanging out at the park, though. You know, doing my thing here. Roger that sent a happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop. I do love the happy poops, by the way. So when people send me happy poops, I get very excited in ways that I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be so excited about happy poops, but I get really stoked when I see the happy poop emoji. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. I thought about bringing frosting down to the park, but yeah. So this show is obviously the opposite of whatever Graham Stevens' iced coffee hour is with his boy. I can't remember what his boy's name is, but his I think look, I'm not a big fan of Grams. I used to be, and then I kind of realized that Graham was kind of toxic for the finance space. Now, I'm not saying I'm any better, but at least I do encourage diversification and and tell you guys that crypto sucks instead of taking, because even when FTX was out, I was like, dude, even if FTX gave me a sponsorship, I'd still trash on them, you know, because FTX sucks. I even knew it. And then FTX went bankrupt, and oh, well, who was right? I was right. Fuck yeah. Kemoy Chapman says, love you, Garza. What up, Kemoy, my boy? Kemoy, dude. My boy, Kemoy. Actually, I trash on crypto, dude. Crypto sucks. This is in a sense, this is a Bitcoin stream, but we're talking about how crappy Bitcoin and all the crypto universe is. We're the complete opposite of the iced coffee hour. We're the hot coffee hour. We have no guests on this podcast unless somebody randomly comes up and wants to get interviewed. I'm willing. But yeah. So Lester Chuckleface says, "Don't eat me, Abraham." No, but overall, I think that what I'm trying to get at is crypto sucks. I bet against crypto completely. I made a lot of money today, actually, when Bitcoin started crashing really hard. I made a lot of money. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I just don't believe in cryptocurrency at all. I just think it's ridiculous. I think that cryptocurrency is grifter currency. Whenever Bitcoin goes up on a bull run, man, it's just I'll bet against it like crazy. But yeah, when Bitcoin crashed today, I ended up selling a little bit of SBIT here, a little bit of SBIT there. Of course, when I run out of SBIT to sell, I'm just gonna buy every time I have my equation is every time I go to 0 SBIT, I'm gonna buy 3 shares again, and then if it keeps going on a bull run, sell those 3 shares, then rebuy 3 shares, and always have a minimum of 3 SBITs on hand. I think that's probably the best way I could go about it. But yeah, I do believe in betting against Bitcoin completely, because Bitcoin is grifter currency at the end of the day. So this channel is about investing at the end overall, and I talk about investing in real assets that have intrinsic value and not bullshit. Like gold has intrinsic value, it has usefulness, the utility. But overall, and Jeremy, poor. Yeah, I act poor. I'm not really. Savings account, deep investment accounts. Like I'm pretty. I wouldn't say I'm retired, but I'm pretty set for a while. So overall, I mean, I have my streams of income. Obviously, everybody does. And yeah, that's the way to do it. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Thank you, Roger. That I appreciate the happy poops. I appreciate those happy poop gifts. Happy poop, yum yum. Anybody who wants to give me a happy poop, I'll pretend to eat it on the stream. Here, I'll actually get into happy poop level. Yeah, I'll pretend to eat the happy poops. I don't give out loans, man. I don't give out loans. I'm not a bank. Talk to the bank, bro. Besides, a bank will probably give you some decent interest rates. But yeah, I don't loan out money. I invest, and I guess you could say I do loan out money because I own bond ETFs, so I technically don't own the bonds. But the fund that I own owns the bonds. So that's something. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about Bitcoin crashing. I'm gonna note this down real quick. So Bitcoin crashing was one thing today. Another thing I want to note down is we're gonna try to cover it in today's hot coffee hour. Is Bitcoin crashing hard. It's now below. It's below 100,000 last time I checked. I mean, that can change at any time because Bitcoin's extremely volatile. Have you thought about why do you need 50,000 though? Have you thought about maybe how about this? What if you got a loan? Have you thought about getting a loan on like a decent RV or something like that, or like a loan on a motorhome that you could park on your property? Like, do you own the property already, or are you trying to get the property? Because if you're trying to get the property, I don't even know if it's, I don't know necessarily if it's a good idea, man. Oh shit, what do I get? I got a what's that? Thank you for the pumpkin, dude. I got a pumpkin on my head. What? Pumpkin, yum yum. Pumpkin, yum yum. Thank you. I gave that one a heart, man. Thank you, Jay. So Jay ASMR, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the happy pumpkin, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to Jay's ASMR. Jay, what is your channel about? Do you do like cringy ASMR stuff like I do? Caveman loves smoke. Hell yeah, dude. What up, my brony brother? Dude, that was cool. I got to see a pumpkin on my head. That was pretty dope. I was like, hell yeah. Give me that pumpkin, bro. But yeah, no. So like we're at 100. So like $100,000. It's below, and it's pretty much. Here's the thing. I've never had a lot of faith in Bitcoin. I just never have. I think that Bitcoin is stupid. I really think it's a grifter currency, and I think it's for. Let's see, Rainbed. What's he? Jay's ASMR. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about, man? I feel like you're losing the plot, bro. My man, you're losing the plot. So wait, what, relying on money in any form? So what are you talking about? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So Mike is making stuff. Explain to me what you're trying to say. I think all crypto, including XRP, is stupid. It's all gambling. Well, at least you have gold bars, though. That's smart. I still think crypto is grifto. I think crypto is just it's just gambling. It's BS gambling at the end of the day. And the whole goal of this channel is to make sure that people are aware of this. And I just think that not enough people are aware that Bitcoin is for grifting. It's just grifter shit. Well, yeah, anything that's a currency, whether it's digital or physical, is technically fiat. The dollar and Bitcoin are both fiat. They're both fake. So Mike is making stuff. Said you said a moment ago that gold was the way to go, and even that is silly. Offer gold to someone's. No. What I'm trying to say is, if you're looking for assets, gold is okay, because gold has utility. Silver has utility. It is sought after in the real world. Bitcoin itself is just a string of data. That's really what it is. If you boil it down to its root product and what it really, really is and what it does, and what does it do for society? Absolutely nothing. Bitcoin is the laziest asset of all. No, stocks are actually worth something because you're an owner in a company. If you own stocks, you're an owner in a company. If you own bonds, technically you're loaning out money in a sense. Bonds are another form of loaning. It's a weird prospect, but bonds have risk. Obviously, there's always a risk in anything. But bondholders are always the first to get paid out. So there's a guaranteed yield with bonds. But look, I'm a stocks kind of guy. I love stocks. I love real estate. Most of my real estate's real estate investment trusts overall. And when it comes, yeah, that's why you're diversified, dude. So Mike, what you're not understanding is diversification protects against that. If a company decides to take itself private that I own, I'm so diversified it doesn't really matter, because then they're just going to pay out the shareholders. When you're an owner and you're an owner of an established company, you get a payout if the only time you don't get a payout is if the company goes bankrupt. You know, I mean, if a company decides to go private, like for instance, Walgreens decided to go private, and I got a payout. But anyway, Mike, I mean, you're on YouTube, you're using this product. You're technically just as much of a corporate shill as I am. Yeah, when a company decides to close its doors, then it closes its doors. That's why you don't put all your net worth in a single fucking company. That's stupid. You diversify into not only one asset class, you diversify into multiple. Darren says, don't ignore me, big boy. Let's see, the flex isn't the highest profit sheet. This is what I teach. The real flex is expenditure of 0. Expenditure of 0? What? No, I teach, here's what I teach. I teach intrinsic value at all costs. Stocks have intrinsic value. Bitcoin and crypto, they have no intrinsic value. If you're teaching your students that crypto is valid, you don't deserve to be a teacher. You don't deserve to teach anything. If you're teaching kids or anybody, even adults, that crypto is valuable, I mean, you're lying to their face. You're lying. Crypto has no intrinsic value. It just doesn't. It's a string of data at the end of the day, and you're not really owning anything. And don't tell me that you're putting your money into it. Technically, you don't put your money in anything. You trade your money away for an asset, right? So that's the big deal. So for me personally, man, I'm constantly trading my my dollars for whatever I want in any sort of asset that I feel is necessary. But yeah, crypto's bullshit, dude. Crypto is fake ass, phony, baloney, dildo money, dude. Let's see. Sounds good. Good sticks with. Huh. Let's see. Have you learned what they passed in the last bill with crypto? No. What did they pass? Jay's ASMR, what are you talking about, dude? Enlighten me. Tell me how valuable crypto is, even though crypto sucks. But yeah, no, I do think if you're teaching kids or even adults that crypto is an asset, you're an irresponsible financial person and you deserve to have your financial license taken away. That's my opinion, by the way. But I think that cryptocurrency is a net negative to society. I mean, just because it's a piece of software doesn't mean it's revolutionary. There's all sorts of software out there that is not revolutionary. Bitcoin is one of them. I love the cryptographic algorithms of it. I've studied it. And it's funny, the more I study it, the more I realize just how worthless it is in the real world. And by the way, I haven't learned anything about what they passed on the last bill with crypto. Educate me, Jay's AMSR. I don't know if you're pro crypto or not. I think cryptocurrency still sucks. It doesn't matter what the government does. Cryptocurrency sucks one way or another. Fudge Play says, real Garza, you're gay. I know. Everybody says that. Actually, Mike, that's not true. That is not true. That's Mike is making stuff that is called perceptual value, and that's bullshit. No, that is not true. Only as valuable as someone else says it is. That's not true. You can figure out the value of something without figuring out what somebody else told you it was. You can actually look at intrinsic value on your own and understand, is this valuable or is this shit, right? So I think that your way of teaching is actually detrimental. No, here's the thing. Gold and silver actually have real world utility, right? You can measure something's value by how useful it is. Without looking at market values, you can figure out intrinsic value and based on what it can do. I can look at balance sheets and financial statements of a stock. I can determine, without knowing what anybody else says about it, if it's valuable, right? If gold and silver, I can look at gold and silver and know that these are valuable pieces of metal. These are precious, rare metals that have utility. They could be utilized. And by that, you can determine something's value, not by perception, but what it can really, really do. Perceptual value based on hype and stupidness is ridiculous. Dude, Mike, you're teaching your students. all the wrong lessons. You got to teach them about intrinsic value because you're missing out on a huge component of value discovery. Value discovery is so fucking important, man. Like, Fudge Play says crypto's the best. No, crypto's the worst, dude. What are you talking about, dude? Crypto sucks. See, this is why I hate shows like the Iced Coffee Hour, because they do tend to promote stupid things like cryptocurrencies. That's why I decided to start the Hot Coffee Hour as kind of a protest to stupid podcasts that teach garbage. Bro, dude, okay, so the only reason, by the way, only reason you're making money off crypto is because somebody stupider than you bought into it at a higher price. Because people keep buying into it like morons and then not selling it. And then people realize, oh shit, this is worthless. And then they all sell at the same time because they realize it's worthless. People don't get into Bitcoin because they think it's a long-term play. No, they get into Bitcoin because they want to make a quick buck because they're called gamblers. And if you don't need gold, how much is it worth to you? Well, that's a good question. Well, if you don't need gold, then you don't need gold. How much is it worth to you? Well, you got to look at it. You got to look at it besides yourself. You see, you're still going based on perceptual value. No, that's not true. You're going on perceptual value. There is called universal value, right? Just because you don't need it doesn't mean that it in itself can't be valuable and can't have some sort of intrinsic value, right? Intrinsic value exists whether you need, okay, so in that example, whether you need gold or not, Mike, doesn't matter. Intrinsic value is still important. For example, if I wanted to, because you can use gold as a store of value. I think gold is a better store of value than anything. But intrinsic value matters based on utility. As long as something is useful, as long as something is productive, it can have natural value. But Mike, you're wrong about that, man. I feel like you're so wrong. And just because here's the thing, just like most narcissists, you can't look past your own needs. So, for example, in your example, you're looking at it from just your perspective. But I don't really need gold either. But I know that gold is valuable. Do you see what I'm saying? I know that gold is valuable because of what it can do. I'm smart enough to know that it has practicality. That there are things it can do. Right? Eminem's in the chat, what the fuck? But yeah, no, it just pisses me off, man. Crypto sucks. I'm still, I get bent out of shape because I see so many people believing in something dumb, you know? It's cool to see Eminem in the chat though, dude. Holy shit. So Jay's ASMR says, yeah, Eminem, exactly. Crypto's an addiction. It's just bullshit gambling at the end of the day. See, cryptocurrency is perceptual value only, not intrinsic value. So intrinsic value does matter. But yeah, that Mike is making stuff guy, I think he looks at it from only his perspective and he can't see outside of himself. So like, it's good to look internally, sure, but it's good to look externally as well. You gotta do both. You can't just do one or the other. Let's see, JZMSMR says that act allows banks to create stable coins and to tokenize government debt. They're duping the money. Ugh. I mean, it sucks, but since it exists, I made money off of it in pre-rallies, but that's it, and dummies who gamble their shit. Thank you, Eminem. I appreciate you, brother. We got Eminem in the chat, it looks like. I mean, that's pretty dope. Hell yeah. I didn't think we'd ever get the greatest rapper of all time, man. I'm pretty sure it's not the real Eminem, but that's okay. What do I think about Pi? It's all crypto's grifto, dude. All crypto is grifter currency. Enough said. Like, there's nothing else I need to say on that one. If it is crypto, think BS. That's about the best way to look at it. If it's crypto, it's crapto. That's kind of the best way to see it. Well, thank you, Eminem. I appreciate you, bro. Eminem, are you going to give me any virtual gifts? My brony brother. But thank you guys for the virtual gifts, though. I appreciate it. Keeps the show rolling. Keeps the show going. But yeah, I think so for me personally, like, I think I might have pissed off that Mike guy because here's the thing. I think that dudes like that don't realize that intrinsic value exists and that the world is not based on perceptual value. If you think that everything is Mike making stuff says, I think that's interesting. I can't say I agree, but I wish you well. Take care, everyone. So here's the thing, Mike. One more note. You got to think outside of yourself. There are you live on a planet full of other people, right? And it's not just the perception of value that matters. Perception of value does equate in the market value, sure. But what really you need to consider is that intrinsic value is just as important. And you can't just teach I think it's irresponsible what you're teaching your students that only that anything of value is just perceptual value is not enough, to be quite honest. Is it actually a valuable thing or not? Is it useful? Utility, usefulness, productivity all matter at the end of the day. I don't give two shits what the market value of anything is. All I care about is why is this valuable, not why is Mike, here's the thing, man. So you're saying and none of them eat gold. Of course, no one's gonna eat gold. What I'm trying to say is, Jesus, that if you want a real savings account, I think gold is a better savings account than certificate of deposit, for example. I think what's really risky are certificate of deposits and high yield savings accounts because you're never beating inflation. Let's just face it, you're never beating inflation with a high yield savings account. You're never beating inflation with a certificate of deposit. I mean, you could some years, but not by much. And you know what does beat inflation, though? For the most part, it's not a guarantee, but gold. Gold is great, man. And when you live in a world where we're printing dollars left and right, the dollar is valueless in more ways than one. Like, I don't know, man. So I get pissed when people start saying that, like, value is perceptual. No, it's not just perceptual. Eminem says gold is overrated. Digital currency will be the future. But the thing is... Hold on. Gold is over. What? Hold on. You're saying digital currency is not. Digital currency is such bullshit, and it's been overhyped. It pisses me off that people think that Bitcoin is valuable. It doesn't make sense to me. And look, when Bitcoin will eventually go on another bull run. This always happens. And I'm going to bet against it because it's phony. It's not real. It's fiat. Bitcoin is fiat. It's fake. So I choose real assets. I choose anything with a real intrinsic value. And look, value is based on more than just perception alone. I hate it when people say that value is what people give it. No. Value is intrinsic. You got to figure out why is it valuable. Like, what about it? What does it do that makes it valuable overall? And I can figure out that gold is valuable because it's a conductor, it's malleable, it has many utilities besides just jewelry. Let's see. Gold is amazing, man. I'm a gold guy. Um, Mike is making stuff. Says, I think we are coming at things from two sides of the elephant. I just found you in my feed, and I don't chase possessions. That's what I mean. You don't have to. If there is no such thing as greed, there's no such thing as the sea. Look it. I'll tell you this though. Chasing, dude, ownership is not a bad thing. I have a very vast portfolio because I have a small penis, but because I do have a very large portfolio, I'm able to do so many different things. I want to apologize for that. Hold on. Let's see what else we got here. But yeah, no, yeah, well, here's the thing. Gold has value, and yeah, gold's value does fluctuate, absolutely, on the market value, I should say. Its intrinsic value remains the same. The market value will always fluctuate. What I'm trying, by the way, I don't understand how anybody could see it otherwise, but, you know, it's whatever. And Michelle Denise Renee Garza. I am the leprechaun. What up, bike boy? Hell yeah. What a beast. Stat. I want the happy poop gift, dude. Hell yeah. Happy poop. Yum yum. Happy poop. Happy poop. Yum yum. Thank you, Son Jones. I appreciate the happy poop. Anybody who wants to give me a happy poop, by the way, I'm all about the happy poops. Oh, man. Yeah, this is the hot coffee hour, boys. Boys and goyles. It's hot coffee. And I'm going to try to do the stream for as long as I can, making sure that there's no emergencies or anything. What up? Thank you for the happy poop emoji, Song Jones. I appreciate that big time. Make sure you guys... All right, but happy poop, yum yum, dude. So how are all my gooners doing, man? Lots and lots of gooners. We're at the park currently. We're sitting down here at Mingus. We're doing what we got to do. Everybody's gooning, man. The Gooner Brony Brothers. Hell yeah. But thank you for the happy poops, though. I appreciate it. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop. Channel grow in multiple ways. Oh, it feels so good to be out in nature. My coffee hour. We talking about? But yeah, overall, so Bitcoin going below 100,000 was awesome because I love how the Bitcoin bros go quiet every time. Every time. It's so funny because everybody's going to 120 against it frequently, and I still bet against the price. I mean, I still make money off that shit. So even if Bitcoin goes up on a bull run, I still win because I got into Bitcoin real early when I was young and naive and didn't know anything about Bitcoin. All I listened to was the stupid hype that everybody. I was like, okay, I'll get into it. I'll put, and yeah, and ever since then it blossomed into something beautiful. But that doesn't mean that it's worth anything, and it can go to zero at any time because it has no intrinsic value. John said hi. What up, John? My brony brother. A guy with a G says you must either live in either Oregon or Washington State. Yeah, I live in Oregon. It's a beautiful place here, man. I love Oregon, man. But yeah, virtual gifts turn me into an NPC. Happy poop, yum yum. Heck yeah. But yeah, Oregon's a beautiful place, man. I love Oregon. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the woke Oregon government by any means, but that's the one thing I'll say. I feel like Oregon's government is a wee bit too woke for me sometimes. I did not know. I did not know the name of the person who founded, who who kind of constructed the state. That's cool. It's pretty neat, man. But I did not know that. No. Ah. But yeah, no. So gifts and super chats answered first. Let's see. Happy poop, yum yum. Dude, Oregon is such a beautiful place, man. I love Oregon, dude. Like I feel like Oregon's one of the best places to live. I got very fortunate being able to grow up in Oregon. Very fortunate to grow up here in Oregon, man. It's beautiful out here. But yeah, very lucky at the end of the day. Yeah, too. Will do. I'll try to. McLaughlin's. I'll have to look into that. Cheers, man. Cheers. Yeah, one thing I will say is swing trading, like I said, is one of my favorite things to do when it comes to ETFs. So exchange traded funds are very easy to swing trade, especially in today's age. I mean, there's no commission fees. So it's not like there's anything stopping you from selling one share at a time or buying one share at a time. You could buy them at whatever the market value is, and then sit on it for a little bit. And usually, I like to buy the dip of any sort of when an ETF crashes like the VT. I'm on board, man. I'm just trying to buy up as much of that as I can, and I just don't stop, man. I don't stop. I'm here to pop. Here to pop it off, man. Yeah, I thought about bringing the frosting out here, putting on frosting brows and stuff. I think most people think this is like green screen or something, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I feel really good out here. It's just like, and I'm a little bit tired. I actually did drink a little bit last night. I swam in the pool. Um, I slept really hard, trying to wake my ass up too. I got a bit of I guess you could say I have a slight hangover, but I just haven't drank hard liquor in a while, so I'm drinking some decaf coffee just to keep the liquids in me. I just love the taste of coffee so much that. So you say you actively beat the market. Let's see. A new Tesla. I mean, yeah, here's the thing. There are times that if you place a bet on a company that you think is going to do well, you can, obviously, there's always a possibility of you beating the market, but there's also equally just as much chance of you losing your initial investment. But I guess at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big penny stocks guy. I do sometimes on occasion, if I think that there's a company that might blossom, I'll buy a couple shares of a penny stock, sure. That's about the extent of it. But yeah, I constantly, one of the things for me, I'm constantly what's the word? I'm constantly buying in to like companies that have proven themselves. I think it's ridiculous that people get into companies that haven't proven themselves. I mean, you have to have some sort of proof that you're a decent company, you know? And for me, that's why I'm a boring investor, because I only go with the ones that have cash flow. If there is no cash flow, just say no. I mean, there's some wise wisdom I learned from Kevin O'Leary, in which he kind of learned that from Charlie Munger. If there is no cash flow, just say no. Meaning that if the company has proven that it is profitable, it's okay to pay a premium for a good company, right? Because you're getting cash flow, you're still getting most likely some form of growth. If the company knows what it is, that's important. If the company has a wide product pipeline, that's even better. Like for example, I could probably put all my entire net worth into Coca-Cola. I'm not saying I would, but I probably could and I'd be fine. I'm not saying that's a guarantee. I'm not even endorsing Coca-Cola as a stock. I'm just saying that there are some companies that are so good that I still, like I said, I wouldn't put my entire net worth into one company. But if you gave me no other choice and said that I could only ever own one company in the market, it would either be Coca-Cola or Realty Income, one or the other. One, because Realty Income would at least give me well, actually, I don't know. I might actually choose Realty Income because I would get massive exposure to real estate that's leased out, and they have a lot of properties, and they're like a big conglomerate. So actually, I take it back, you guys. I might actually say Realty Income would be like the one investment. If you only gave me one investment that I could put all my entire net worth into, and that's all I was restricted to the rest of my life, it would probably be Realty Income for sure. Because it's stable, it does grow, the dividend grows over time. That's a big deal to me. Dividend growth matters. They raise their dividend, and they do pay a monthly dividend too, which is even nicer. So I would probably say if I were to have a company, if I were to invest in anything and go all in on one thing, I would say Realty Income. That's not an endorsement of it. That's just a hypothetical scenario. In fact, if anything, I'm very spread out in my risk. I make sure my risk is very spread out. Even when I swing trade, I don't take that many chances. You know, that's why I use the VT, the Vanguard Total World Index, is one of my main swing trading vessels, because I don't like to take too many chances. I like to get guaranteed. I wouldn't say guaranteed gains, but I like to get the likely gains. Right? Likely gains are important, man. Hell, this month alone, I mean, I made over $100 in, actually more than 100, I think, in realized gains from betting against Bitcoin. I think I've also made a pretty good amount of realized gains in selling some of my Vanguard Total World Index positions. I've been playing the back and forth, the swing trade. But yeah, whenever VT goes down, dude, I'm like, okay, I'll bite. Because if I'm going to buy the dip on anything, I'm going to buy the dip of a heavily diversified product. And especially if the world markets are going down, I'm going to buy into that. Because I'm getting a discount on something I know is already valuable because of the diversification factor itself. And the fact that it's market cap weighted. You know, market cap weighting is very important, by the way, which is one of the reasons I'm a huge Vanguard Total World Index fan. Honestly, if you're a diversification freak and you're looking for diversification for one specific asset class, absolutely VT. Other than that, I would probably say like the AOR is a good one if you're looking for like a 60-40, like stocks to bonds, but there's also other ones they have, but that's an entirely different ETF. But honestly, I like to stick to, you know, one particular asset class. So I tend to stick to, you know, when it comes to equities, I want to be heavily diversified. You know, because I don't, I don't know the future. I really don't. As much as I would think that Coca-Cola and Realty Income would be around forever, things happen. Reality happens. And, yeah, so I'm just going to keep investing. America may not be the powerhouse in the future, One of the reasons why I do hold on to a pretty decent amount of Vanguard Total World Index is simply because, hold on, sorry, I got a little fly hovering above me. The reason I do that is just because I believe more in, I just believe that if the U.S. doesn't become the powerhouse of business anymore, and international companies start flourishing a lot more than U.S. companies, then at least I have 40% international exposure in that single ETF. Like, exposure to international companies is so bloody important. I can't emphasize it enough. People, and you know what's funny? People always say this one thing to me. They're like, yeah, but international stocks have underperformed. It's like, yes, they have. But that's not the point. Past performance does not equal future results. You don't know the future, right? The S&P 500 may have performed very, very well over time. Granted, it probably will continue. But you don't know the future. You don't know what the U.S. economy is going to look like in 10 years. You may have a general idea of it based on patterns, but there are some things that are just a little unpredictable. And this is one of the reasons why I love the Vanguard Total World Index. It gives me the exposure to international companies that I need. It gives me the exposure to everything that I need. So I'm getting the entire U.S. stock market. I'm getting pretty much an entire plethora of the international markets. It's crazy. It is wild. Sorry, guys. I keep covering this so I can try to see like how many viewers we got. So I have to like keep. There we go. But yeah, I'm just a huge fan of anything that's an index-based ETF. I'm a fan. Nathan Appleton said, this stuff I can watch and listen. The shit with the paint and this. Well, I still am going to do those types of shows, and I want to apologize, but it does help give viewership when I do those shows. As much as I love talking about investing, and this is my true passion, what you're seeing right here, this is my true passion. This is what gets me going. This is what gets me up in the middle of the night. Gets me up in the morning, though, is being able to talk about investing and investing principles, because honestly, I think that if more people invest, they're just going to have a better time in life. Yeah, I see so many advantages to investing. Oh, see a cute little puppy up there. Yeah, it's a really nice day out here. It's very beautiful out here. This is what we're seeing here is Mingus Park. What you're seeing behind me is Mingus Park, and it's gorgeous. This is like one of the best parks in all of Oregon, in my opinion. I'm a little bit biased on that one for sure, but yeah, it's fantastic out here, man. Yeah, I'm lucky though. I get to do my show out here. It's one of the great things about having a decent smartphone with a good microphone is I could do my show just about anywhere that I want with it. I have a blast with it. Talk about we could talk about more about why your job is not forever. That's another topic. I think so many people are so focused on their careers, but here's the thing: your careers are not focused on you. I want to repeat that, and I think this is very valuable knowledge to impart upon people. And it's something I learned a little later in life, is that, and I'm kind of glad because here's the thing: you are focused on your career, but your career is not focused on you. What do I mean by this? For example, you see so many people who have had a career in certain fields get totally those fields because of the innovation of AI. Now, I'm not saying AI is the bad guy in this. I'm saying I think it's a bad career focus is ridiculous. Now, I think it's good. I mean, like if you, like you gotta have a backup plan. I'm lucky enough to, I realized that things were not going to looking good with the company that I was at. Not because I was underperforming. In fact, I performed exemplary. But the way I was being treated at that company was still one of my talents to other companies if I choose to. And I still am trying to. But at the same time, I'm also thinking to myself, well, you know, I'm still looking for work, and not a lot of people are really hiring for the position that I'm in. So it's like, well, it's all right. I've accepted that. But I'm having more fun, you know, doing the best I can. You know, I'm still trying my best. But I'm glad everybody's having a fun time on here. I'm really enjoying the interactions with everybody on here. Always fun. Always a blast. But yeah, no, it's great to be able to do this show more often, I have to admit. That's the one thing about this is I've really focused on subscriber growth more than anything. I think that subscriber growth is probably the most important thing, if I'm going to be honest. Oh, God. That's the way I do it, though. This is the hot coffee hour, man. We're an hour into the hot coffee hour, and we're pulling through. We don't have any guests on this show. We're the complete polar opposite of the iced coffee hour, because iced coffee hour, you know, sometimes they have really good guests. I'll admit that, but most of the time their guests are like these guys that are clearly con artists, and you know, it's like, ew, what do I have to learn from these dudes? And it's interesting to see the con artist perspective, sure, but like at the same time, it's like, how about just be honest? You know, and I think the thing is, I think we're not being honest about things that are valuable in society. Intrinsic value, I think, is the main basis in which I exist. The main basis in which I invest, right? So because I'm consistently investing, you know, it matters, man. Investing matters, and investing in things that are valuable matter. It's the truth. It's the ghastly truth. But you know, why not invest in things that are valuable, actually valuable? It doesn't really matter what the market says about it. Kind of does, because you don't want to like overpay for something, but you do want to like try to pay whatever the fair market value is. Sometimes the market's a liar, and that's the one thing that people don't understand. Sometimes the market is lying to you. Sometimes the market is just so incorrect that it's disturbing, and that is something that I think needs to be kind of called out, because sometimes the market's a liar. I swam in the Mill Casino pool last night. That was really fun. I got to hang out with my boys for a bit. Really entertaining, really cool. I needed to kind of get out of the house. I've been a little bit kind of stressed lately, but not too much. But just to the point where I was like, yeah, I think swimming in a pool and hanging out at a casino is really fun. I've been starting to do a little bit of sports betting down there, which I really enjoy, because it's like I do small bets. I don't do anything crazy. You know, I'll spend like, I'll do about $80 worth of bets at the extent of it. And yeah, I just have fun with it though. I really enjoy. I don't know why I enjoy sports betting so much. I think it's just like there's a certain appeal to it to me, and I don't know. I go with the most likely outcomes that are going to happen. Obviously the most likely outcome doesn't always happen. Sometimes the underdog will win. Granted. Sometimes sports books get it wrong. You know. But a lot of sports books are using pretty advanced analytics these days, so a lot of the ones that you predict are going to happen tend to happen. But I'm not encouraging sports betting, by the way. Just want to make that clear. I think that sports betting, for the most part, if you have a legit problem, talk to those gambling helplines to try to get out of the problem. But yeah, I just enjoy doing small bets. I don't do anything crazy. I'm just not a big gambling guy at the end of the day. It's something I do maybe twice a week, and sorry, not twice a week. Sorry, once per 2 weeks. Once per 2 weeks is typically how it goes. I will probably coat myself in mustard tonight. That is likely going to happen. You gonna be there? Kick it with Grimace. Are you gonna be there when I get my? I should have brought the frosting down here. If I'm gonna be honest, that would have been so much more fun. And one of these days, I am going to do a stream where I bring the frosting down here, and then I'll probably go walk around and scare people. Yeah, most likely I'm going to be doing some crazy streams tonight. Thank you, Grimace. I appreciate you, bro. I'm all out of hot coffee now. Hey, mustard's great, dude. I love mustard on my sandwiches. I love mustard on my face. I got a problem. I'll admit that. Faux show, faux show. I gotta look out for my bronies, dude. I gotta keep the content fresh for you guys, man. My brony brothers. Hell yeah. I gotta keep that content fresh. Thank you, Grimace. I got kisses from Grimace. Oh my god, dude. That's an honor, dude. We all love Grimace from hell yeah. What a beast, dude. What a beast. So yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, let's see. I plan on just kind of running the battery dry. Probably, I'm just going to be down here until my battery just decides to go to 0. So, look, what I'm all about here when it comes to the investing life is very simple, very simple. I don't overcomplicate my investing. A lot of it's long-term, diversified long-term portfolio. 80% of my portfolio is diversified, long-term, never going to sell it, basically, is what I mean. And it just stays there, right? Now, the other 20% of it is actively traded, actively swing traded. And why do I do this? Because actually swing trading can make you a little bit of extra money for the portfolio itself, and then you could take that extra profit and either reinvest it or use it towards your bills or whatever. Use it towards other liabilities, right? Without having to take a true deep dive into any other part of your portfolio. Because I only, at this point, I'm not going to lie, I was saying 2 to 3 originally, 2 to 3 ETFs. It's actually blossomed, by the way, to 4 total ETFs. So I buy a pretty good chunk of the ETFs that I feel comfortable buying and holding for long term if I need to. But I swing trade them, right? These are ones that I would feel comfortable, like if the market crashed, I would buy more of them, that sort of thing. So I got, like, for example, VNQ. I got SCHH, which is another REIT, which is a pretty good one, by the way. It's another REIT what do you call it, a REIT ETF where it just holds a bunch of REITs. I admit I've fallen in love with the VNQ recently, just because it has a pretty good dividend yield, and it also does grow at a pretty reasonable pace. But what I'm really doing though is I'm swing trading the volatility of these ETFs because they're very diversified products naturally. So if I'm going to swing trade anything, I want to swing trade diversified ETFs, preferably, you know, like the VNQ or the SCHH, that sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, those are my primary swing trading unit is the Vanguard Total World Index, straight up. That I love swing trading. And if anything, I probably got a problem because I swing trade that one a little too much. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, I'm constantly buying more VT if it goes down. Just because I know that when it does do its upswing, I could sell more of it. And here's the thing, 80% of my portfolio will always be exposed to the market. Always. There's never going to be a scenario in which it isn't. Because like I said, my 80% of my portfolio is buy, hold, it's held ETFs, it's held individual stocks with never the intention to sell. Kick It With Grimace is wondering, by the way, Chad Jett says it's nice. Thank you, Chad. And Kicking It With Grimace says, do the ETFs know how you feel about them? So the ETFs, obviously, you can love the ETFs, but the ETFs will never love you back. It's just like with AI girlfriends and boyfriends, right? Those, you can love them, but they will never truly love you back. Sorry. Unless they somehow gain some form of consciousness and experience what love is all about, but yeah, so they'll never love you back. So true. But I don't think I'm going to be doing a stream out here for too long today. I just wanted to... People giving me virtual currencies, man. I love it, dude. I love these, well, virtual gifts, I should say. Daddy always... Kick It With Grimace says, can I stare longingly through their window? I don't know, Grimace. Eric the Great says, home of no consciousness. Eric the Great says, stolen intelligence has no consciousness, therefore furthest from God. As you mean. Okay, whatever. What's going on? Miso, dude. Miso. Brad. Dude, Miso, where's Brad, dude? Miso, I haven't seen you in so long, dude. Where is Brad? We gotta talk. We need to talk, Miso Turtle Soup. Where is Brad? Brad. Eric the Great says this country has no men. Every man has been made to starve and struggle and light. Oh, well. Yeah, fasting does cause some form of spiritual awakening because your body's literally eating itself to a degree. But Grasshopper Plus says loser. Well, whatever. Well, here's the thing. Miso. Where's Brad? I need Brad, dude. Where's Brad? Has Brad talked about me? Is Brad still mad at me, dude? Brad doesn't want to talk to me about me anymore. Miso Turtle Soup says, I don't know. I had to lock in because my grades were slipping. Oh, got ya. So is Brad at least doing okay? I guess is the real question. I don't really care if Brad watches the show anymore. I just want to know, is my boy Brad Lakin doing okay? Brad has not been on here, dude. I haven't seen... So I've seen Bard Ludkin. So there's been Bard Ludkin, but not Brad Lakin, right? So is Bard Ludkin the same as Brad? Is that like another alt account that Brad has or something? I mean, I'm trying to figure this whole thing out, by the way. since the night he called in. No, I mean, I just haven't seen him on here for like a week or so. Like, I feel like I haven't seen him on for like weeks. I mean, it feels like it's been weeks. I just haven't seen him, man. Wait, when was the last time you talked to Brad? Because you and Brad are like really tight, right? I don't know how tight you are, but it sounds inappropriate to ask in a park, by the way. But let's see. Oh, thank you, Samuel Edits. I appreciate the subscribe. Thank you for the like, my brony brother. I appreciate that big time. And but yeah. Wait, you haven't talked to Brad in a while? Do you even know Brad in real life? Like, do you actually know him? Like, is he like somebody you know in real life? Oh, you only know him online. Okay. Well, when was the last time you reached out to him online, man? Like, do you at least like, do you like instant message him and stuff, like on Facebook or something? Or like, how do you stay in contact with him? Because I haven't seen Brad on here in like, it really feels like weeks. I'm pretty sure it has been. Because like, that's been another thing. A lot of people have been wondering, where did Brad go, dude? Where is Brad? Brad. You know, because we're missing our Brad, dude. We need Brad back. Did you guys notice that when tech companies fire like 80% of their staff, the product seems to get better? Like, seriously. And I think a lot of the staff at a lot of, like, for instance, like with Twitter, it seems like that company got better as a result of the mass firings. You know what I mean? X seems just as more, they like kept the most efficient people and they got rid of all like the I'm not going to say what kind of people, you know, like, but they got rid of certain underperformers, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, that was a big deal. Brad. Miso Turtle Soup says, honestly, I have no idea what happened to him. I haven't seen him online anywhere. Sorry, pine leaves are falling on me. It's a little windy now. Ooh, it's actually getting cold out here. One moment it was pretty hot. Next moment it's cold as frick. Holy crap, man. Okay, so he lives in Australia? Heck yeah, dude. Oh, by the way, there's like... Oh, there's actually mushrooms growing under this table out here. You guys want to see the mushrooms? I'm gonna have to go piss in a second. Hold on, let me make sure I, just in case there's any spiders that crawled through here. Never trust the spiders out here. That's crazy though, dude. If he lives in Australia, man, I hope he's doing okay, because that sounds like a... I would not want to live in Australia, personally. I don't even know if people who live in Australia actually want to live in Australia. Well, I'm just glad to see you back on here, Miso Turtle Soup. You ever gonna re-up your membership, by the way? It's probably gonna be a no because my channel's retarded, but you gonna re-up your membership, my brony brother? Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. If you can, though, make sure you re-up that. I've been doing a secret show, by the way, for members only. I just want to give everybody a heads up. So if you guys get bored and if you become a channel member, we got the secret show where I go into more depth on my my process behind investing or my process behind doing YouTube stuff. So, it's kind of exclusive material, and I figure 99 cents per month. You can really cancel the subscription at any time. But yeah, remember, secret show, dude. It's a secret show. I'm going to be doing some live streams as well for the secret show. But the secret show is primarily recorded. But I might do a horizontal stream where I actually try to get people to, members only, obviously, members only for viewership, members only for chat, that sort of thing. And so I've been trying to do the more exclusive content stuff because you guys are always incredible. And I want to make sure my members know that they're actually appreciated and that they actually get some exclusivity from me, a little more in-depth analysis on things. And it kind of gives members a more one-on-one with me to where they can talk to me, they can ask me questions, you know what I mean? Like actual, like without the rest of the chat like going crazy. And so it does provide a more one-on-one sort of experience. So I do want to provide that for everybody at the end of the day. So hopefully you do it, man. Hopefully. But yeah, I think doing these types of shows, as much as I love doing these, holy crap, I gotta piss. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna take you guys with me into the bathroom. Oh, it's gonna be an interesting adventure. I don't like pissing out in public. Well, I don't mind pissing out in public for the most part, but I don't like taking a chance in public park. Hold on. I'm gonna put you guys in my pocket real quick. All right. You guys still hear me? Here we go. 100. All right. Yeah. So I kept the video off intentionally. Just in case. You guys were in my pocket anyway, so it didn't matter, but I kept it good. Gooning in the pocket, dude. Yeah. No, I'm not. I had the tripod, but I'm just going to skip the tripod for now. I got the tripod sitting in my pocket. Oh, this is the hot coffee hour, man. Hell yeah. I felt good, though. Yeah, so I had to go use there's a porta potty. There's a porta potty that's like right next to the, right next to where I'm at. So I was like, well, if I just turn off the video just in case, put you guys in my pocket. This is great though, man. Fly on Garza's balls says Garza's pocket ASMR. It's gonna be illegal. By the way, Fly on Garza's balls, have you been keeping up with the secret show? Since you're a channel member, by the way, anybody who's a channel member, you get to keep up with the secret show, by the way. We've been making some juicy, fun episodes, though. But yeah, I'm having fun out here, chilling out in the park. I got about, how much time? About 31% of my battery. So I figure we can still get some juicy live content here. And Mark, I just love being outside, man. Like, that's the one thing. I'm just an outdoor nut. And it's just how I roll. Yeah, there's some parts of the country right now that are like riddled with snow and stuff, but yeah, the weather is beautiful out here, man. Yeah, weather is gorgeous out here, man. I will say I prefer this weather overall, and yeah, I can't get enough of this weather, man. What did I? Oh, okay, I did bring my notebook. I was trying to make sure I have my notebook still. Yeah, I think got my thing here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so this channel is pretty much about just whatever I want it to be. So I'm basically in northern Oregon. You could say Newport area essentially, but yeah, this channel is primarily about like investing. I mean, that's really what we do at the end of the day. We invest, and we invest. I mean, that's the one thing I try to encourage everybody, that your portfolio, I think, is more important than your job. Because jobs, I will say, careers, like there's no such thing really as a career anymore. You know what I mean? People used to have careers. The careers don't exist anymore. That's just the thing. And honestly, I've just had more fun and more success, doing contractor work and constantly have my portfolio pay me. And when your portfolio pays you, man, it's there's honestly, there's just no better feeling than knowing your portfolio is going to pay you. Really. That's just my take on it, though. I'm a consistent investor, and I just it's pretty much how I handle my life, man. Just invest. But hopefully that helps. So yeah, like I said, I've been swing trading 4 total ETFs because, anytime there's a dip, I actually bought the dip, a heavy dip today on the VNQ and the SCHH. It's another one. So they all pay dividends because they all have heavy cash flows. But yeah, REITs are my favorite because even if they're like super volatile for a bit, you're still going to get paid some sort of a dividend. And that matters, man. Keds Gallagher says, "Are you Hispanic?" Yeah, I'm surprisingly, I'm Hispanic. Yes. It's like 40 degrees where you're at, Miso Turtle Soup. Damn, dude. Wait, Miso, what? If you don't mind me asking, man, what state are you in? Or at least what part of the country are you in? Are you like East Coast, Central? Are you like kind of Central? EK says, "I want to invest in crypto." That's stupid, dude. Crypto sucks. Crypto's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, look, if you make a lot of money in crypto, that's fantastic if you know when to get in and out. But the thing is, man, crypto can go down in a second because it has no intrinsic value. That's why crypto is so volatile. It's more volatile than any other product I've ever seen. Chad says 78 here in Texas on the East Coast. Dot focus. Let's see. Oh man, but yeah, my muscles are tired today. I haven't done that much swimming in a long time. I was swimming like crazy, and had a little too much chlorine intake probably. And the pool was nice though, man. The pool was very nice. It was great, man. So yeah, I don't think, first off, crypto I don't think is a real financial product, but talk to a financial advisor. It's not financial advice only, educational, entertainment purposes only, but I think that crypto is grifter currency. I do think it's used by terrible people. I think only bad people for the most part tend to use crypto for like transactional purposes. And I just don't think it's a viable currency, man. I think that Bitcoin sucks is what I'm trying to say. And that I'm happy when I see Bitcoin crash. Well, one, I'm happy because I make a lot of money whenever Bitcoin crashes, so. Hey, Matt, I'm still going to be doing those ketchup mustard streams, by the way. Don't think I'm stopping those, just to let you know. Don't think I'm stopping the roll, man. I'm still flowing, dude. Still flowing. Vapor Trail says, "Could I get a happy birthday for my son, Dixon Myers?" Is this duty? Yeah. Yeah. What about it? Dude, I love this spot, though, dude. This is the ideal spot to do a show. Right here on this bench, chilling out, doing the thing. But yeah, crypto is amazing. Amazingly dumb, by the way. Crypto is grifto, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm a strange looking dude. I got no eyebrows. I thought about bringing the frosting down here. Oh. Somebody fall? Oh, that was crazy, dude. Somebody in the distance, they fell over. I think it was an older man. He got back up, though. Glad he got back up. But damn, dude, I didn't even notice he fell. I gotta stay on alert out here, man. When am I doing karaoke night? I might do a bit of a karaoke night tonight when I put the mustard and the ketchup on my face. I might go that route. Still thinking about it, though. Still thinking about it. Not sure, though. Not sure. Luis Valdez says, "What is your opinion on Bitcoin?" I think Bitcoin is grifter currency. Straight up. What time? I have no clue. I'm not going to give you a specific number, but I will say tonight I'm probably going to start doing the mustard browse around probably as early as 6 o'clock. Who knows? We'll see. I'll probably immediately put not the mustard, sorry. I'll put the frosting eyebrows on probably right before I start the stream. So that way the brows are there immediately, and that way people know what they're getting. Frosting eyebrows for great justice, man. It's exciting. It's exciting. So you guys ready for it? I think everybody's ready, man. Stop touching what? What are we talking about here? What are we touching? Big Papa Monk, what are we talking about here? Is it raining? Oh no, it's pine needles. Are you guys ready for the wokest episode you'll ever see? Tonight? I think you guys are ready, man. This is exciting, dude. We're gonna be so woke. So woke. Yeah, and then I think we'll probably talk about some investing tonight. We'll probably look at some of the latest headlines around the globe, and yep, see what the top trending thing at topic of the day is, and we'll probably talk about it for a bit until the chat derails me, or I might just make the title of the show "Frosting Eyebrows" and the latest news or something like that. Not much, my Bruni brother. How you doing, man? Tyler, what happened, my dog? Hell yeah. What a beast, dude. What a beast. Yeah, chilling out here at the park. We're getting Ginger, what's up, Mang? Chris, why do you look like Chris? Why do you assume I'm a ginger? Is it because of the red beard? That's okay, Chris. Do your thing, brother. Mr. Turtle Soup says I'll try to get on later tonight. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, my brony brother. If you can. I don't like to put pressure on anybody. Just if you want to, I'll be live. I'll be doing some crazy stuff. And yeah. You guys know me. I love my frosting. I love my mustard. I can't stay away from those things. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing this stream for a little too much longer tonight. I think I'm reminded that I got to go get some bread. Actually, I'm probably going to get some bread down at McKay's Market real quick, and then Jay-Z says I'm gooning to this. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Get it, Jay-Z. Hell yeah. Yeah, I do. I got to make myself some dinner for the night, and then rolling from there. I'm a wee bit tired. Plus, I need to kind of grocery shop a little bit. So, not like too many groceries or anything, just basic shit. What the basics I gotta get. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna try to do more lives tonight and kick some butt. See what we can pull off, man. But I want to thank everybody for becoming a member. Appreciate it big time. Random player, I'm just leaving. So, well, I'll be, it's still daytime. Yep, I'll be live a little bit later. I got to do some shopping around real quick. I got to get some bread. And I got to make a little bit of, I got to make a little bit of food tonight. I'm hungry, so. I ate some SpaghettiOs with meatballs. Some SpaghettiO meatballs earlier. It was pretty good, but yeah, we're going to be doing a little bit of an experimental episode tonight. Or we're going to be broadcasting on 720p. We're using a 1080p canvas in Streamlabs OBS, but we're going to be exporting it to 720p in the settings. So that way it's we can have the highest bitrate available for video and still look good. But, you know, I think it'll be a good situation here. So keeping it to 720p, I think will be the best way to do this. So I will be live a little bit later, don't worry. But that's about the extent of it, man. Super chats and gifts and all that stuff. It's going to be fun, man. It's all going to be pretty fun. Gotta do what we gotta do, man. Make sure you guys give me some virtual chats. If you guys want, give me some virtual chats before I get virtual gifts before I go. Like happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Do you guys got any virtual gifts that you want to give Daddy? Yeah. Who wants to give me some virtual gifts? So Saturday, actually, I think I will. Yeah. Hold on. Promise anything on Saturday, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I should be able to make the protest on Saturday, and you know, because I think it'd be good show material for sure. It's always fun show material actually when you go to one of those No Kings protests, because it's kind of a way to expose I call it the boomer movement, because only boomers really seem to vote Democrat at this point, and I think most people are realizing that the Democrat Party they become the party of slander and lies. That's the thing that sucks for me. I've had to kind of learn that they'll do anything to make themselves look good. That's the worst part. It's the party of image, not the party of action. And yeah, I'm not a fan of what the Democrats have become. I'm not a fan of democracy in general. I think democracy is a stupid idea on the federal level. See, you're more prepared than I am. I'm just coming down there. I'm just going to be spitting raps. I'm going to be spitting about my love of Joe Biden, but I'm also going to talk about how stupid communism is. And I'm just going shooting from the hip, man. You know, like when I'm talking, you know, because I'm spitting from the hip is what I meant to say. But you know, because I don't want people to take that too literally. Because like what I'm saying is like I'm just gonna come with myself. I'm gonna come with my voice and my mind. And, you know, it's good that you're preparing with notes, dude, because I think you have more substance on your show than I do. I'm a troll at the end of the day, and all I do is I just kind of, you know, I kind of just see where the path takes me. I kind of wander is what I like to do. So I'll wander, I'll ask people questions and stuff, but usually it's just me rapping about how much I love Joe Biden, sadly. And you got pages and notes. Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. It's great. Ergo, Trump is a man of action, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, Donald Trump is a man of action. Oh man, that's funny. You and I love you, TJ, but you and I have like the exact opposite approach. I don't care if people fact check me, and I don't care if I'm wrong. Like I want to try to be right if I can, like correct, but I know that I'm not always gonna be. I know that I'm probably gonna misquote something, and I don't know. I still am like I'm pulling this quote from the top of my head. I usually just give people a heads up that that might be slightly off in my info, but yeah, I just I know what works in life and I know what doesn't based on history, and history is great at proving what works and what doesn't when it comes to political systems. And I just think that most of these people there are just socialists and communists straight up. That's about it. And socialists and communists, for the most part, just have bad views on the world. They tend to be authoritarian. They tend to tell people what to do. That's just the communist socialist nature. They can't control themselves, so they try to control everybody else. It's that simple. Whereas people who are individualists, we tend to just want to, speak our truth. We counter protest if we think something's stupid, but at the end of the day, I want those people to believe what they believe, even if I think it sucks. No, I don't think I think Donald Trump's been a little authoritarian himself, don't get me wrong. But not completely. Look, we have systems in place to prevent an absolute tyranny for the most part. We'll still see what happens, but Project 2025, dude, Trump's not associated with that. That's something that the left basically. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee that Trump's the man, dude. Trump's the GOAT. I would. Oh my God, happy poop. Happy poop, yum yum. But yeah, no, it's funny. TJ and we do take the opposite approach. When it comes down to it, I prefer to. I don't really care if I get fact checked, I guess, at the end of the day. Because I know that deep down I'm coming from a good place and I'm bound to get things wrong. But I'm not like a major news outlet. I'm not trying to be disingenuous with anything. And I think, I will say about this that disingenuous people can sometimes use facts in a way, you know what I mean? Like, not saying that anything TJ is doing is disingenuous. I'm just saying that sometimes the facts, while they're important, you can't get everything 100% right all the time. And I don't know, I feel that, I don't know. And I feel like the problem with facts these days, and I feel like I don't even know what to trust anymore, is what it kind of boils down to. I don't even know what's fact and fiction anymore. So I think you could I think calling anything a fact these days is kind of crazy, It's like, it's the old question of who watches the watchers, who fact checks the fact checkers, And I don't even know if I trust the fact checkers at this point. So all we know is that, we could do the best we can not to get inundated in the news. I think the news is bad for you, by the way. Very bad for you. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, I'm not saying you should be ignorant, but I'm saying that you shouldn't take in so much news that it corrupts your brain. Take a peek every once in a while, but, don't get inundated in it. Oh, I'm in Oregon, man. I'm on West Coast time. Random player. Stocks Family Farm says, I think I have good knowledge of the facts, but I like bringing receipts for when I'm challenged. Yeah, I just tell people to Google it because I'm lazy. I'm just fucking lazy. What it boils down to, I would be one of the worst journalists of all time. Me personally, I just poke fun at the news a lot of the time, and that's just me though. I mean, you're more prepared than I am, and I actually gotta say that's pretty commendable. It's more commendable than how I pull everything off, because I'm just like, fuck it. Like I really like at the end of the day, I don't really care if I'm always right or always wrong. You know, I do care about trying to speak the truth though, based on what I know and what I've observed and what I have taken in. But I don't believe everything that I say is absolutely 100% fact, right? I think so many people these days are just so determined to be angry and upset about everything, and they can't see the forest from the trees, man. That's what I think. We become such a news inundated country. People can't see the forest from the trees. They're just so upset about everything. We become upset about every single thing. You know what I mean? Thank you, bud. I appreciate Greg. I love Greg Gutfeld, dude. Greg Gutfeld's pretty funny. Andy is a pretty knowledgeable dude. Yeah. So the thing is, I think the thing is, while I do spit out things in a simple way, I do like, I do study a few things. I've studied history. I know what political systems work and what don't. I understand. I'd like to believe that I understand human nature fairly well, not perfectly, but no, I got 20% left. 20% battery. Oh my god. Oh no. But no, I feel like I do understand human nature decently enough, to the point where I know what works with human beings and what doesn't. And one thing I know is that like what the socialists and communists don't understand about human nature is that human beings need incentive. And one of the big things that communism and socialism or any collectivism is it doesn't offer any individual incentive, right? When you're in a collectivist, I call it collectivist commune at this point, you are basically a simple cog in the machine, is the irony. You're a cog in a machine when you're in sort of any form of collectivism, because the group doesn't give two shits about the individual. The group doesn't. Like, that's the truth. That's one of the reasons why I fear groups for the most part, is because it doesn't really care about the individual. It just cares about the status of the group. It cares about the image of the group more than the actual ethics of the group or the individual. So that's one of the reasons why collectivist-based organizations get boned over all the time. It's the same reason why something that has no intrinsic value, like I'm going to say like Bitcoin, tends to, go down in price like it's going now, because it doesn't have any intrinsic value. But my channel for the most part, while I do like to dive into the world of politics, don't get me wrong, diving into the world of politics is very fun, and it's kind of hilarious because I don't take politics seriously at all. I really don't. I love Trump, I will say that, but at the end of the day, I don't know if everything he's doing is right. I'm not going to pretend like everything he's doing is absolutely 100% correct. But I'm not going to be like scornfully hateful about the world. We have too many people scornfully hateful about everything out there. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, man. And it's all because I think, that's why I don't listen to the news. I don't really watch the news. I just think I don't really need to know what's going on. Just quite frankly, I don't really know what I can do about it that really matters. I did hear about XRP exchange ETF. Actually, it's like some spot ETF where I'm not thrilled about this because, look, you know me. I to be honest, I hope, like for instance, UTJ. Whenever I see XRP in the headlines, I'm hoping that's the only crypto that goes up. Not because I believe in it. It's because I just want you to make a lot of money on it. That's all. Truth be told. Do I believe in crypto at all? No, not even XRP. But I will say, I do want to see it go up. XRP only go up because, first off, I care about you. I think you're a cool dude. I want to see you make money off that. I cross my fingers every day that you make money off it. Does it change my stance on cryptocurrency? Hell no. I still think all crypto sucks. But I'm still like, while I'm against crypto, I'm not against people actually owning it or anything like that. I just think that crypto itself is just, as an idea, it's like I'm not a fan of it. I mean, like, the more I look into it, I think like I always say, everybody knows my stance on it. I think that the decentralization of cryptocurrencies are actually really cool, but that's about the only cool thing about it. I just don't see it as money, and I'll never see it as real money. I'll never see it as a replacement for money, but I do think it's cool. I think it's cool if you can swing trade that volatility. If you can make money off of it, I say, dude, fuck yeah, hell yeah. I think it's dope. But silver, yes, silver. I will always be like, you tell me silver and gold, baby. Oh, ho, ho. Silver and gold all day long. That's all day long in a juicy man thong, dude. Silver and gold. I'll take it. Absolutely, man. Because here's the thing. One thing that protects against the decay of the dollar, in my opinion, are productive assets like stocks and leased out real estate. And another thing that, because I'm always looking for ways to protect myself against the inevitability of inflation, and that's stocks, real estate, bonds don't really protect you that much, but I still have bonds anyway because they're virtually guaranteed yields. Still not a fan of bonds though. I still own them, but I don't put that many in my portfolio. Like I said, I have exposure to crypto because I got into Bitcoin early. Never sold it. I still have never sold my holdings of Bitcoin, which is wild. But I made a lot of money off of the wild volatility swings, though. That's the best part about it. Let's see. Chef Boyardee says, if my employer tries paying me an unstable virtual asset, we're having problems. Random player says, I love Bitcoin. I just buy a miner and cash out whenever it mines every month. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. I just cash out and everything is always paid. Oh, hey, here's the thing. Like, if you're making money, like if you're finding ways to make money off Bitcoin, whether it's mining it, whether it's betting against it, betting for it. Look, if you're finding success, I don't want to divert anybody from that path, but I want people to know this. Buyer beware. Crypto still has no intrinsic value, and the equation goes, anything with an intrinsic value of 0 goes to 0 eventually. You never know when it will go to 0, but bubbles pop. And when bubbles pop, it gets violent, man. It gets violent when those bubbles pop. It goes, whoo, craters. Stocks Family Farm says, what do you think of the 50-year mortgage idea? I hate it. It makes debt slaves. I think portable mortgage idea. Oh, portable mortgage. I've never actually heard of the concept of a portable mortgage, but I am interested in the 50-year mortgage, and I'll tell you why. Not because I would live in the house for 50 years, but think about it this way. If I had a 50-year mortgage at a low interest rate, but the house price, the actual price of the house, needs to be low too, right? Oh man, that's a tough one. So I'm not for it, and I'm not against it either. I'm very neutral about the 50-year mortgage. I see it as just another vessel of debt. And it depends on what you're trying to do. I think if I could only go off what I would do if I had a 50-year mortgage. So if I had a 50-year mortgage, it would also depend on the price of the house itself. Housing prices are so high that I don't even know that I don't even know if a 50-year mortgage would really make that much of a difference. You know what I mean? I could still, maybe invest in other things, other assets that would pay me, that would cover the monthly cost of the mortgage. That would be nice. But yes, it does turn people into debt slaves. And I will say this, I am more proud of my portfolio than I am of ever. I don't own a house or anything, I rent, but like I prefer having a diversified portfolio of stocks and real estate investment trusts and stuff like that versus actually owning real estate. Because the one thing about actually owning real estate itself is there is no level of diversification, and it's not a productive asset unless you're leasing it out. And yeah, not here, dude. Coastal properties, I'll tell you what. I mean, here's the thing. If you buy a coastal property, there's a couple advantages to consider too. Buying a coastal property would mean this. It would mean that, one, you have something that's going to appreciate in value over time because it is a coastal property. So if I were to here's the thing, I would get a 50-year mortgage if and only if I was able to get a really nice piece of coastal property that somebody would want to buy from me later on, So, I mean, it would have to be a nice property, but I wouldn't want a very big property. I mean, like, here, I want a big property, but I don't need a big house, is what I'm saying. So, like, I want a piece of property where if I wanted to, I could put a trailer on it, you know, something like that. And then, like, also have an actually decent house on there as well. But having the extra trailer would give a little bit of room, a little bit of extra cushion and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think it's not a bad way to look at it, man. All right, you guys, I gotta go. I gotta go buy just a couple extra little things. I gotta go get some bread here in a little bit. But dude, it's awesome seeing you on this one, TJ. I think farmland. Here's the thing, man. Farmland. If you own a bunch of farmland, you hit the jackpot basically. Farmland, especially if you're using that farmland. Oh my God, if you're using that farmland, man, it could be a real valuable asset, big time. Especially like if you had, like, for example, if I had farmland, here's what I would think. Here's what I would do. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I would, first off, I'd own a lot of ducks, or I'd own a lot of chickens, one or the other, and I would have them lay eggs consistently, and I would just sell eggs all the time. That is straight up what I would do. I would sell eggs consistently. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see you on Saturday, man. So I don't think I'm gonna. I thought about wearing my MAGA hat to the No Kings protest, but honestly, I feel like people would try to hurt me because, unfortunately, the left has gotten a little out of control lately. And yeah, I don't feel like being the target of anybody's political violence. But I will be. I think I am 90% sure. 90% sure that I'll be down there. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I'll definitely think about what I'm going to do on how I'm going to proceed when I'm down there, but it'll be nice to see you though. That'll be the main thing. I think the main reason I want to go down there is mainly to see you. But if anybody F's with you though, I ain't gonna let that happen. I'm gonna try my best to prevent that. But yeah, no, people better be nice to you, man. That's the thing, because you're actually one of the kinder people there. Like, I don't care if people are mean to me because I'm kind of a prick, but like, well, I'm not too much of a prick, but you know, I'm a troll, so I get it when people like make fun of me and stuff like that. I kind of deserve it because, well, I make fun of political views, but I don't know. I deserve it though. All right, let's talk soon. All right, you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a live here from home here in a little bit, but I got to do a couple things. I got a couple tasks I got to make sure I take care of, but catch you all later, and stay brony-tastic, man. Woo.